Hello Lucy, it's Tuesday and this is the official start to our weekly videos, and I feel that this is a big step for us, and I hope that we can keep this going and can manage to find a topic each week to do a video on. I think it's going to be a little tricky, but I think if we help each other out, we can pull it off. We'll be able to do it. So for my first video, I would like to talk about quotes. I was thinking about this, and when I was younger, I didn't really understand it. People would say, oh, I really like a quote from this movie or this song or this book, and I never really understood why people enjoyed quotes so much. But as I've gotten older and started reading and writing, it makes far more sense to me. So I'd like to tell you some of my favorite quotes and some of the favorite quotes that I've written, and just kind of talk about quotes in general. So I'm challenging myself a bit here with this video by not allowing myself to look up the quotes that I will be mentioning in this video. So if I do misquote anything, I'm really sorry, but I'm trying to do it from memory. It's just kind of a challenge for myself because I like to force myself to remember things. So this should be interesting, but here we go. So most of the quotes that I like are from movies because I am a big movie addict, as you know, Lucy. So the first one is a quote heard in Haunting in Connecticut, and it goes, "It was one bright day in the middle of the night. Two dead boys got up to fight. Back to back, they faced one another. They drew their swords, and they shot each other. The deaf policeman, he heard the noise, and he came and he killed those two dead boys." Now this quote I like because of the contradictions throughout the whole thing. It was one bright day in the middle of the night, two dead boys got up to fight. The whole thing, each line of it is a contradiction to itself. And I just really like the feeling that gives off throughout the whole thing. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. I just really like the flip-flops and the way it makes you really think about it. And that was one of the first quotes that I ever really was like, wow, that's really cool. I love the way that sounds. And it was my first favorite quote, if you will. The next quote that I'm going to tell you is from a movie called The Mist, and it goes like this. "Humans as a species are fundamentally insane. If you put more than two in a room together, they start taking sides and planning up ways to kill each other. Why do you think we invented politics and religion?" So that quote, I think I might have messed it up a tad bit in a little bit of the wording, but I like the meaning behind it because I completely agree that humans are a very messed up species. We have war and hatred and all these terrible things, and we worry about things that are so unimportant. Like we concern ourselves over people deciding to, or choosing to, however you want to say it, love people of the same sex, and we worry over skin color and just things like that I think are so silly. And I also find it interesting that we worry over those things, but some people, they believe in God, obviously. A lot of people do, and the same people that claim to believe in God are the people who have hatred towards gay people and people of other races, and it doesn't make sense to me because they believe in God, yet they're arguing against his design because God makes everyone. So God makes white people just as much as he makes black people, and he makes straight people just as much as he makes gay people. So how can someone believe in God and yet have so much hatred towards the people that he has made? I don't really understand it. Now personally, I know that both of us are atheists, but when you think of it towards that way, it's just dumbfounding to me. I just don't understand it. And I just think that quote shows kind of like the way humans are, and I completely agree with what it says, and so I really like that quote. I think it's really really very true, and it's simple but makes a very good point. And the last quote that I like is from a movie called Sucker Punch, and this is a pretty long quote, but I really like it. I like the meaning behind it. It's very empowering, and it goes like this: who honors those we love for the very life we live, who sends monsters to kill us but at the same time sings we will never die, who teaches us what is real and how to laugh at lies, who decides why we live and what we'll die to defend, who chains us and who holds the key to set us free. It's you. You have all the weapons you need. Now fight. So those are some of my favorite quotes, all from movies. Most people like quotes from books, like Shakespeare. I personally hate Shakespeare, but if I had to pick a favorite Shakespeare quote, I'd probably have to go with "The lady doth protest too much, methinks," which is from Hamlet. I like that quote. I also, but soft, what late through yonder winter breaks, it is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon. That's a okay quote. The balcony scene isn't too bad in Romeo and Juliet, even though I loathe Romeo and Juliet. The only line I think I like more than that, I like, "For a rose by any other name would smell as sweet." That's a really good one. And "For never was there a story of more woe than that of Juliet and her Romeo," but that might have something to do with the fact that it's the last line of the story. And to end off the video, some of my favorite quotes that I've written would have to be, "I know some things about some stuff," which isn't really that mind-blowing, but my other writer friend thought it was really cute and ended up using it in one of her stories. That is a quote from the one book that I've written that I use a couple times throughout the story. It's kind of the girl's like trademark. The guy will always be like, "Man, you know, like she always says things," and he gets surprised, like, "Oh, you knew that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I know some things about some stuff." And some other more serious ones. I like one I've written that goes like this: "There are good things and there are bad things. Stay away from the bad things and all is well. It is up to the person, however, what they perceive as bad." I like that quote because I think it shows the world very well, because people are like, "Oh, this is good, this is bad. Just don't do the bad things and everything's fine." But different people perceive different things differently. So one person might think something is bad, but someone else might not. So I think that's why we have so much problems in the world, because people perceive things differently. Like, someone will be like, killing someone is a very bad thing, which I would agree with, but someone else that might be crazy wouldn't see killing someone as a bad thing, so they kill people and they don't realize it's bad. So, yeah, I like that quote, which was in the sequel to the story that I was talking about before. So to end off the video, I'd just like to ask everyone who is watching this, what is one of your favorite quotes? And if you don't have any, then what was your favorite quote that I mentioned in the video? I'm looking forward to your video on Thursday, Lucy, and I'll see you next Tuesday.